Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make this bracelet. So I just put these on here. These are for the closure. What I do is attach one of these rivolis on each side of the bracelet and then put a strand of beads. Let me just show you on another bracelet to create this closure. So when you put them together, you get when you put them together, you get a design that could be your focal of your bracelet. So you could wear your bracelet this way or this way, but it's a really lovely way to do it. So I thought I'd do that with these because I was trying to find some of these rivolis that were rainbow, and I actually have these, and I will show you how to make these in another video. So we'll just put those aside. So you do need some type of closure. We won't show you in this video just because it takes a little too long for that. So what we'll do is we'll create one segment of this so you get the pattern of the rainbow in the design. But this turned out really lovely. Let's get that in focus. Turned out gorgeous. And you can see on top how amazing that looks. So really cool. You could do this with different colors. You could do like a ombre design as well across. But this is super easy because you're going one row, next row, one row, next row. So let's get started. What you need is some twin beads. I'm going to use the matte silver twin beads, which is the same as the one here. You could try the shiny silver. I think the matte really helped the opaque colors come through so that it almost disappears and you really get the rainbow color coming through. So you need those, and you're going to need some opaque seed beads, 11O. I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And that creates the rainbow effect. But you could do like different color combinations, whatever. You're going to need a size 10 needle. You could use whatever needle you prefer. I was using a size 12 throughout all these designs, but I really like using the size 10 needle. There's a little more substantial to hang on to. So if you don't need a smaller needle, you can go ahead and use the 10. So you're going to need scissors, and you're going to need your thread. I'm using crystal dragon thread number 6. You can use whatever fused thread you want. Some people do use like a I don't know if it's a cotton thread, like a 1G. Let me see what it says on here. So this is 100% nylon, the 1G. So you could use this too. Some people use this for doing herringbone like this. So yeah, just use whatever you have, whatever you feel comfortable with. So let's start we'll move this over. So I did now you're going to use at least 3 wingspans for a full length bracelet. This bracelet is, let me see, let's test it. Yeah, so this is, I'll give you a measurement to that. You could probably figure out how many patterns of the rainbow you want to do. So my wrist is a 6-inch wrist, and this is how many I had. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns of the rainbow. So for anything beyond that, I would imagine you'd need a few more to get your 7, 7.5, depending on what your wrist size. So let's put this here. So yeah, you're going to use a couple of wingspans. Just move that a bit out of the way. I have the strings thread still on it. So I took a wingspan, and this is a piece of these twin beads. So here's the thing. Somebody asked me about the difference between twin beads and super duos. So super duos, the quality of the bead shape is higher than with the twin beads. I find the twin beads, I have a handful on my my other bead mat of ones I picked out because they get really funky shapes. I should show you because it's important to know. Now, these are a little cheaper than super duos, but I did count out for this size you would only need two tubes of super duos. So if you're doing a larger bracelet, you'll probably need three. But let's take a look at some of these. Here's one that's really wonky. So I wouldn't even use that. The hole is almost through the bead itself. Here's one where it is cracked. So there's this one here again is that one. This one's cracked as well. But there's no other part to the bead. But the big thing is these wonky shapes that you get sometimes. So one side's a bit flat and the other side has a little hump. Here's one that you might see it a little better, like that. So I try and stay away from those, and then you get a lot of these as well. But this is what there's like maybe 10 here out of a tube this size. So this is probably 30 grams of them, and I think I buy them in 50-gram bags. So I mean, it's not too bad, but that's the difference in case you're wondering. So let's get rid of these. So I took one that was just, it looks like a drop, and I use it as my stop bead. That was a long story for that. Let's get to the design. So we're going to need some of these guys. Those there. Now, for putting out your beads, this is kind of a strategy you're going to have to figure out for yourself. I like to put them in the order of the rainbow colors, the way you see them on, displayed most of the time. So you have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Now, putting them on your bead mat, and if you're trying to get a rhythm going, sometimes it's hard because there's only a certain section of your bead mat where you're going to feel comfortable reaching. Then if you go too far, your hand is getting into the other pile of beads and it mixes it up. There's lots of problems in beading. It's not always perfect. So let's get some yellow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the second row of colors in behind is what I'm getting at. And if you have one of those bead mats that has the separations, that works. I've seen them and I know a lot of people use them, but I prefer to grab my beads out like from a flat surface. So I don't know, that could be just being silly. So we'll see. And I could have put these out before, but wasn't thinking. My wife may be interrupting us. She's doing our taxes. Oh. Every time she does the taxes now, she says, "Thank you, YouTube." Because of my channel, I get the ads. I get a percentage of the ad. It's like very little, but it's enough to make it difficult for the taxes. Okay, so we are going to start with, we're going to pick up. So here's the thing on this design. I'm doing 2 rows of each color. But at the beginning, I do a full row of red. So this is where we're going to start here. So to start there, you're going to pick up one red, a twin bead. So you can see this one's really wonky too, but you know what? Sometimes I just ignore it and you don't notice it on the bracelet. So then we're going to pick up 3 seed beads of the red, another twin bead. So 1 and 3. Pick up 3 like that. Pick up another twin bead, and then I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads like that. So this is just the beginning one. We're going to put another twin bead and then 2 beads. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, that should be fine. So this is what you're going to have on your first row. 1 seed, 1 red, a twin bead, 3 red, twin bead, 3 red, a twin bead, 3 red, a twin bead, and 2. We're going to take that and we're going to put it all the way down to the bottom. I am just going to move my mat up so that I can give you a clear view of what's happening. So you're going to grab your bottom piece with your thread with your fingers, and you're going to go through the first open hole of that twin bead. So go through here like that. Okay. So now at this point you can flip your work the other way and work up. It's always easier if you're right-handed to go this way. You can do like this and go down this way. I think for showing you, I will attempt to do it from the top as well as the bottom. This way I don't move my beads around, so you can have an idea of where I'm working. So again, now we're going to do a second row. The second row is going to be red. So you're going to pick up a red 11-0 and a twin bead like that. You're coming out of this hole. You want to hook onto that first bead here. And this row is a little difficult to begin with. Get your needle in there. Once you get this one done, it's easy, so just bear with me. Okay, so you're going through that first. Let me enlarge this. And I might just do a little bit of that there. Okay, so you're through the first bead, the 11-0, but you also want to go through the open hole of the next. So let me see if I can get these all turned the same way, because that's the other part to this first row is annoying. So I'm pulling it through. Just make sure that it goes in the right spot. There. So it should look something like this. That just looks ridiculous at this point. But just bear with me. Now we need another red 11-0 and a twin bead. We're going to do the same for the next one. So pick up that first bead and just that first bead, and then go through the open hole of the next twin bead like that. I'm going to hang on to everything from the bottom so that it doesn't get all twisted. Like that. So you can see it's starting to want to form that shape of the kind of zigzag, and this one will go over like that. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time. So pick up an 11-0 and a twin bead like that. You're coming out of that hole. We are going to scoop up this first bead and put our needle through the open hole of the twin bead like that. Okay, try and hold your beads all in one position. Okay, and there. So this is what you have so far. Now, all you have left on the bottom is one bead. You were going to do the same thing. So pick up an 11-0 and a twin bead, and you're going to go through just that one bead like that. That. And let's take a look at what we have. So now we basically have our first row. The other rows will be so simple after this. So now we are coming out of this bead here. So we're going to do a second row of red. We've done 3. If you think we put on one, we added one, we're going to add another. But you could essentially start going into your other colors. I feel like, you know, if the ends have more of one color, it's not a big deal. So pick up. For this one, we're going to turn and go through this bead here. So we always want to have 3 beads on this corner for this design. Some people do it differently. So you're basically embellishing that end bead. So it should have 3. And again, we can tighten this. Not a big deal. Look at that. You can see how it made everything curl. There. Okay. So now we'll get started. We'll do the second row of red. So pick up a red. Pick up a twin bead. Go through. So you're coming out of this one. You're going to go through. This looks weird for a second here. Let me. It's just because it was up so much. Okay, so we're going to go through this 11-0 and then we're going to go through that twin bead. This will look clearer when we get to the other colors. Right now, this first couple of rows is always wonky. So let's try that again. That wasn't really clear, and I want to make sure you understand. So you're coming out of this hole. We're going to pick up an 11-0 red, a twin bead. We're going to go through this bead and we're going to go through the next open hole. So just think of it that way. Sometimes I get confused because the way they're all bunched together. I want to go through this hole. That's incorrect. You want to go through the open hole. So if you can remember that, then it'll make more sense. And you can see how lovely it's starting to. But look at how wonky this bead is. Once we get stuff on there, you won't even notice it. So pick up a red, a twin bead, go through this 11-0 and through the open hole of that twin bead like that. And you can see it's starting to straighten out now. Pick up an 11-0, a twin bead. So you got your red and your twin. You're coming out of here. We're going to go through this and turn around. So remember, when we do the last bead on the top and the bottom, we end up only doing one, the seed bead like that. So now we're going to take, so this would be different we're going to start the next row, which the next row is orange. But for the design, you can decide how you want to do this. I decided to go ahead and add the 2 seed beads of the same color of the previous row, and it lined it up nicely. So you could essentially say, well, this is the start of the next row, so I'm going to add orange. It'll just change where that little hump is of beads. So it's up to you how you want to do that. So I'm picking up 2 seed beads. I'm coming out of this one. I'm going to go through this open hole here. There, so that's the 2 rows. Now we're going to pick up a orange bead, a twin bead. We're coming out of here. We're going to go through here and through the open hole here. So like this and like that. Okay. And I find too, just a little hint, if you start doing these and you're wondering, it feels like the thread's showing or it's not tight enough, I find with this design, you have to pull your thread up, which is kind of counter to what we normally say where you pull your thread to the direction you're going. It's because this bead here and the hole that we're going through, we want it to create that angle. So that's why you want to pull it up that way. But that's like getting into the weeds with that. You really don't have to worry that much. So now we're going to go through the red. I'm going to do this in 2 steps. Through the red and then go through the open hole, not my finger. Like that, and pull it up. Okay, let me grab a few here. Pick up an 11/0 orange and a twin bead. You're coming into this hole. We're going to go through this red one and through the open hole. Let me get a bit of grip on this. Pick up an orange 11/0, a twin bead, and go through this red 11/0. Now the one thing, when the beads are shaped weird like this, like there's a big side on this side and nothing on that, I try to keep them away from the edges, because when we do the turns, this bead sits in a weird position. But we'll just leave it for now. So you're going to pick up 2. So we're at the end. Actually, what did I do? Yes, so this design, because when we're changing our beads, you could essentially put a red there, but it would look weird because it's under an orange. But you want the beads to match. So what I did do is on the bottom half, and I'll show you, of the bracelet, and you probably didn't even notice it, on the bottom half, it has a different color bead. So if you look here, there's an orange bead and then 2 yellows. There's a yellow bead and 2 greens. There's a green and 2 blues. So I just let it go and just did the color that I was working with. So go through this open hole like that. See if we can tighten that a bit. Okay, so now do orange. I am gonna bring this down a bit more. I seem to be moving away from the camera there. So pick up an orange and a twin bead. You're coming out of here. You're going to go through this 11/0 and through the open hole. There, like that. Pick up an orange, and a twin bead. You're coming out of here, you're going to go through this bead and then up through the open hole of the next twin bead. Pick up another 11-0 orange and a twin bead. Coming out of here, you're going to go through the 11-0 and the twin bead. Like that. It's starting to feel a little more snug to me, and that's just, it's like I said, it's awkward on the first couple of rows. So then this last one, we're going to pick up an orange 11-0 and a twin bead, and you're going to go through just that bead there. So again, I point this out because this was confusing for me. I never could figure out why there wasn't a twin bead that I could go through, but it's because we add 4. So once we add 4, we have to turn around, and this being the 4th twin bead, so it becomes the bead that we were missing, kind of thing. So now we're going to do 2 orange here to just finish off that orange row. So we've got 2. You're going to come through this hole, through this hole here. Pull that a little bit. There. And put that through that. Now we're going to move to the next color. So let's do yellow. So I'll go through the whole first set of colors with you so you can see, kind of cement the transitions and stuff. So pick up a yellow, pick up, screw down so you can see, pick up a yellow, pick up a twin bead. You're coming out of here, you're going to go through this orange bead and you're going to go through the hole here. Like that. And pull. Pick up an 11 yellow and a twin bead. I'm going to go through this 11 and through the open hole of the twin bead that's next in line. 11-0, twin bead, go through the orange and the open hole. That. 11-0, twin bead. We're going to go through just this 11-0. There, like that. Pick up 2 beads to go here, 2, yellows. That, and go through. Do one more row of the yellow. So yellow 11 and a twin bead. We're going to go through here and through this hole. So you can see it's a lot easier doing it from bottom to top. This one looks a bit loose here. I'm going to see if that happens to you. Just pull the 2 beads at the bottom. And if it goes back a couple, go back a couple, pull, and then pull. Like that did it, and then pull that up. So that worked a little bit. It could be if the beads, like you see this bead here, is really misshapen, may it cause more space in between. Okay, let's continue. 11-0 yellow and a twin bead. Coming out of here, we're going to go through here, this 11-0 and this open hole of that twin bead. Pick up another 11-0 yellow, go through this bead and the open hole like that. 11-0. We're going to go through this. So we have 11-0 and a twin bead. There. So we're finished with this row, but we want to create that little kind of rounded effect. So we're going to pick up 2 yellows. And we're going to go from here, we're going to go through this open hole here. Just like that. Okay, so let's do the green next. You know what's funny? I am really obsessive about my beads colors touching. So maybe I do need one of those mats that has the separation. I'm laughing because my wife thinks it's funny. I don't like my food touching. And I like to have my food hot, so I will eat in different courses, like civilized people. That's what I tell her. Okay, so we're going to do the green. So pick up a green and a twin bead. Coming out of here, you're going to go through this 11-0 and through the open hole here. Yeah, so I don't, like if we're having, chicken for dinner, I actually will have my chicken separate and eat it so that it's nice and hot. And then whatever else we're having, I'll have it heated. She's like shaking her head. I'm like, you married me. So there, green and twin bead coming out of that hole. We're going to go through this yellow and through the open hole. Like that. Pick up green and a twin bead. I'm going to go through the yellow and through the open hole of the next twin bead. That. I'll do that a bit slower in case you're still not with us here. 11-0, green, twin bead. We're coming out of here. We're going to go through this bead. Remember, it's the bottom and the top. You only go through a bead. The twin that you're putting on becomes the end bead of the following row. So now we're going to put 2 green here. Like that. And go through the open hole. Now pick up a green 11-0 and a twin bead. Coming out of here, we're going to go through this 11-0 and through the open hole on this twin bead. So you can kind of do it on an angle like this, which is great, which is probably one of the reasons why I like this design. I'm all about the process when they're fun to do, right? So pick up a green and a twin bead. Coming out of there, we're going to go through this 11-0 and through the open hole of that twin bead. That 11-0, twin bead, 11-0, twin bead. What's going on here? Oh, that's from the other bracelet, the thread. It's like, why do I have an extra thread? So 11-0, twin bead, and again, this is the last one. So we're just going through the 11-0. And now we can add our green turn. So that's 2 beads up top. Go through the open hole. Let me just that snug and then pull it. There we go. So now let's do blue. So pick up an 11-0 blue. So this is, we did 2 rows of the green. Pick up a twin bead. We're coming out of this hole. We're going to go through this 11-0 and through the open hole of the next twin bead. Like that. Blue, twin bead, go through the 11-0 and the open hole. That. Pick up a blue, twin, go through the bead and the open hole. Blue, twin bead, and just there's only one thing to go through, that 11-0. So go through that 11-0 like that. Now we're going to add 2 blue because we're doing the turn. 2 blue. Yeah, that's wonky here. There we go. So if it ends up being wonky or whatever, like I said, just pull on those 2 beads at the bottom and then adjust what you need to adjust and then pull this. So another blue, we'll do our second row and a twin bead. We're going to go through the 11-0 and the open hole. Blue, twin bead, go through. I do find that these blues are tinier than the other beads. They're supposed to be the same, you know, company and everything, but who knows, different batches come out different. The only reason I notice it is you can see more thread through them, and they do. I get good at telling they look a little thin instead of more rounded. That. Blue, twin bead, and just through the single blue here. That. That one's really messed up. We'll just leave it. Now pick up 2 blue to create that design on the top. You can do whatever you want on the top. You could do all silver on the top if you wanted to and really outline it. Now we're going to do the purple. Okay, so pick up a purple. And look at this one, is really messed up. Let's put that one aside. Pick up a purple and a twin bead. Coming out of here, we're going to go through the blue and through the open hole. So you can do the same as I was suggesting on the bottom, is pull those 2 beads. You can pull these 2 just to make sure everything's snug and in place. So pick up a purple and a twin bead. Coming out of here, we're going to go through this blue and through that open hole like that. There. Purple, twin bead, blue, and twin. And this is all twisted here. There we go. Purple, twin bead, and go through just the seed bead on the end. We're going to add 2 purple and go through the open hole, and it creates that design. So now pick up a purple, pick up a twin bead, go through this twin bead and through the open hole. So if it's confusing because I'm going down on the other row, just flip your work. And that's what I do when I'm doing it by myself. I'll just flip my work. But I wanted to make sure you understood where one line started and one line ended. So if I keep moving my hand position, it gets confusing. So there, through that. So let me know if you do this design with different colors. I would actually like to do like an argyle design in the background, but I don't even have design charts for, like, say, a loom bracelet that has an argyle on it. I think if I had, I could probably work it out, but you can see it doesn't need as many beads as, say, a loom bracelet. So you do have to do a little figuring. And you know what this shows you too is we know how things are supposed to look. So if you just do something very basic, say like a drawing of somebody, and you just do the basic features, the person looking at it will fill in the blanks so they know everybody has 2 ears. You didn't draw any ears, but you put it in your head so you understand that's a person. It's the same with this type of design where there's only, like, you saw how few seed beads I used. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 just in this section here of one color, yet you filled in this and this as green. So it doesn't matter that that's silver. Your brain already finished the picture for you. So that's why this design is really cool, because it's filling in the blanks for you. We're so used to seeing rainbow colors, we understand, and our brain kind of tricks us by filling in all the blanks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. So that's basically it. When you finish, let me see where I'm at here. Oh, right here. So let's finish the purple. So we're going to put 2 purples on top. Okay. So now you have 2 purples. If you end with a purple, what I do is I just add 2 beads here, go to the next one, 2 beads here. So I'll show you what that looks like. So pick up 2 beads, go through, and you're basically doing the same design. So you're going through the 11-0 and through the open hole of the next twin bead, and watch what happens. So now you've got this loop there. Pick up 2 of that same color, whatever you ended with. Go through the 11-0 on the bracelet and through the open hole like that. There's your, so it finishes it really nicely on the end. And I'll just show you. So that's all there is to it. So you're basically doing the same thing, but instead of adding a twin bead, you're just adding the 2 11-0s. So this was my finishing, like that. Depends on what row you finish on. You know, you could be looking at it this way. So that's basically how I had it on this one. Like that. So this final row, the beads were going up. But I mean, that's basically, it's just upside down. So there you go. So in the next video, I'll show you how to bezel, because I wanted to talk about these rivolis that I got from BB Craft. I got them quite a while ago in a with the unboxing, but it kind of matches this rainbow color, so I'm going to use it to finish this off. So I'll show you how to finish this bracelet, but I want to talk about as we put this together about these crystals. These are a grade A 14 millimeter Rivoli that are incredible, and they were like 100 of them for $8. So definitely a good deal. People were asking me where to get some good Rivolis at a good price and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that in the next video. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you later. Bye.